Aloha, everyone. Today's topic is how to raise rich kids. It's really talking about more of a simple blueprint that I put together and something that we're never really taught growing up. And I'm glad to see that in a lot more institutions and even in schools, they're going to start teaching more about financial literacy, which I feel like is super important to teach about as well. Hey, Jordy, Lovey, Ernie, Dog Pound, Malachi Diva. Again, we're going to be talking about wealth building. You can talk about investing, raising rich kids. That's the topic for today. We're going to wait for a few more people to hop on. But just a quick heads up on some of the platforms. I can't really see you because I'm on my desktop as well. So please comment, say hi, where you're from, so I can see your name too. Hey, Kit Kat. So I want to talk about something that most parents maybe think about, but don't know really how to address when they're talking to their kids or thinking about how to set their kids up financially. And I mean, most of us were not shown how to do anything related to building wealth because maybe our parents were just struggling to get by. And so it's not necessarily their fault. And also the school. I mean, this is always a hot topic when people say, oh, we never learned this in school. But I know a lot of teachers, and they're my good friends, and they always uh, are, definitely want to talk or teach about more of finances and money habits and just things that will help kids transition from school to real life. But honestly, that's on the parents because school is meant to educate them on certain topics, to, get them thinking on the educational level. And I can tell you this right now, everybody's financial journey is different, everybody's situation is different. So there's not one way that will work for everyone. And when it comes to finances and investing, every investment is a risk. So, yes, I do believe more of transitioning into adulthood should be taught by the schools, but it's not necessarily their responsibility. It's on us as parents. So, I mean, who here agrees with that? Michael, James, Dorothy, you guys agree that us as parents should be the ones teaching our kids these financial skills? Makana, yes. Lovey, yes. Let's see who else we had in here. Ruby, yes. Nani, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we can blame the system, we can blame the schooling, we can blame everything else out there, other rich people. But to be honest, we need to take some accountability. And I'm not here to scold you. I hope it's not coming off like that. But I just want to be honest about it because when we know where we're coming from, we can then improve. And I mean, the biggest problem is that nobody really talks about it, right? Like nobody really talks about money. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about how much they make, how much they save, and what they're doing that's working, which I find to be crazy. But for me, once I found something that worked for me, that was helping me build wealth, I told everyone, whether they wanted to hear it or not, is one thing. But I believe that we can all grow by learning, and especially what's working in the economy right now with inflation, everything getting so much more expensive. We have to help each other. We have to have multiple streams of income. And you could have good intentions, but you might be missing the overall strategy of how to get your finances up. So, really, working harder isn't enough anymore, right? That's not enough to get wealthy because, like I mentioned, inflation, most families rely on savings. I know that's what I was taught growing up is okay, spend as little as possible and save as much as you can. And that's how you're going to get ahead, which, yes, you definitely need emergency savings. You need to, um, not be spending more than you make, but that's not going to make you wealthy. Decisions to then invest your money so that it can grow without you spending your time on it and compound interest alone grows way more rapidly over time. And so, like I mentioned, it's not just about how much money you make, but like where does that money actually go? And until you start to audit your own time, your own income, your own expenses, you really don't know. And so a lot of people just think, oh, I got to make more money. But that may not be the case because you can't outmake how much you spend. If you're always spending, no matter how much more you make, you're always spending all that money, then it doesn't really matter. So, this is why, yes, savings is important, but the type of savings you get, like I've mentioned before previously, and now just finding out, in the more recent years about high yield savings accounts that give you 3 to 4% interest versus if you just quickly look, like after this live, go and quickly look at your savings account and see how much you're making. I was shocked that I was making like 0.03% on one, like 0.1%. So that's basically like a couple dollars a year. So I think a lot of people aren't even aware that they think, oh, yeah, I put in my savings and it's making interest. But is it interest that even matters? Because inflation is anywhere between, well, it just depends on who you ask, but anywhere between 4 to 6%. So your money needs to be making at least that in order for it to not be losing money by just sitting in the bank. So I think that's the basics of the most important thing that I want to stress to you guys is that wherever your money is sitting right now, making sure that it's working for you. And then, I mean, the basics of, knowing where your money is going and taking a look at that because yes, I think there is always a time to enjoy and it's just depending on your goals, right? Like everybody's goals aren't the same, so not one size fits all. But if you want to change your children's financial future, you have to be open to one, talking about money, two, knowing what your own income and expenses are, and then three, how to start investing that, how to start building your credit, how to, save. Yes, you need emergency savings, but after that, investing the rest. So you need these sort of financial foundations to then set them up for more. And starting early matters more than saving a lot. So I don't know if you guys have seen the reels or there's a lot of information out there. And even on my posts on social media, I talk about just like even saving $25 a month as they're, maybe if they're like 10 years old, starting from 10 years old, that could make a huge difference, especially if they are investing it into the stock market, investing it into a high yield savings account right? These small habits could change the outcome of them being a millionaire by the time they're 30 or 40 because they started these small habits early. And like I mentioned, it doesn't need to be huge amounts of money. The later you start, yes, the more money you'll have to put in to get ahead. But the goal is not to just raise kids who then earn money. The goal is to get them to start saving and then investing it and knowing what to do. Because I think there was somebody who said recently, um, it was, your kids are going to learn about money somewhere and learn habits, financial habits somewhere. It should be from you. So there are simple systems that any busy parent can start. So if you guys have any, did you guys have any questions on that? If you have any input, please type them in the chat. Wealth building, we're going over just simple financial systems to kind of get your kids ahead. And, a lot of you guys know me for investing in real estate, which for the past, I want to say 6 years, I have been really active in, and now going more of the passive route, which I think in this economy is a lot safer for people. I'm pivoting to just talking about basic financial literacy and just smaller steps that you can take even now as you're working, as you're, if you're not ready for a big shift. These are some simple things to do that even I do now, that I have to go back and start. Like I just opened up a Roth IRA for my son, and I was going to wait a little bit later to do that. But what I realized was that I could start now, right? Like your kids are not too young to start saving for them. I've always had savings accounts for my kids since they were born, but there's a difference between saving that money and then investing it. And it can grow a lot faster the longer that it is invested. So I guess let's get some tips from the audience too. Tracy, Halika, Carlos, George. Is there anything that you guys do, Kachua, Travis, with your kids that is helping set them up financially for their future? Has anybody opened up retirement accounts for their kids or started saving? I'd like to hear it. DJ Shine. I like that name. So we're really going to talk, we're sharing about these different simple systems. Like I mentioned earlier in this live about high yield savings accounts, brokerage accounts, Roth IRAs. These can all be done for your kids. And I just opened up a custodial Roth IRA for my son. Now he's 11. It was just his birthday this past weekend. But you can also, what I did with my daughter early on is I added her as authorized user to my credit card. So she just turned she's 19 now, but she has like an 800 credit score because I added her on as a authorized user to my credit card. So that's something simple that you can do now. I think you got to wait till they're 16. It just depends on the credit card company that you're using. So double check with them. But that's something easy you can do. And you don't even have to give it to them, right? You can start spending some money on it and have it pay off on the same account. Hey, Tapu. But that's one thing. If you want to work on building their credit first, that's something that you can do right now, is add them on as an authorized user. And then I think the most important thing is teaching them about money through real conversations or through habits. Like, I know a lot of people, which I found interesting. Okay, so I used to pay my daughter to do chores. And so every chore she did, she would get like $1. And so at the end of the week, she'd have money for A plus or after school snacks and things like that. Thank you, Angela, for liking. And if you like this conversation, please share it with a friend or a parent who is looking, or anybody looking to increase their finances, and just small, simple steps that they can do now. But I feel like just talking about money early will help them then decide what they do with it. So for her, she would, of course, start buying snacks and have some money for the weekend for activities she wanted to do. But after a while, we started then putting it into the bank, having her use a debit card, get used to charging it, and then checking her account balance. So that's little things you can start doing early so that they realize, okay, even once they get a credit card, they can't just swipe, swipe, swipe and spend and not pay attention to their expensive. And she's actually surprised me right now. Her method that works for her, I don't do this, but so my 19-year-old, she will have her check from her job go straight to her savings, and then just only put in her checking whatever amount she budgeted for herself for that month. So she makes sure, thank you, Angela, for liking this live. If you can, like the live, you just get more eyeballs and more of us together talking about finances. Zahara. So that's a smart way to budget too, is just have your paycheck just go straight to your savings and only put in your checking what you're going to spend. Because she's younger, she has my credit card. She's still an authorized user, but we're still building up to her getting her own credit card. However, right now that system works for her. And like I said, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to go today, open up a high yield savings account, brokerage account, a Roth IRA for your kids, build their credit. Like, you don't have to do everything at once, but pick at least one of these things to do maybe once a month. Or if you're doing the Money Made Challenge with me, once a week, just have something that you set up for your kids, because a lot of times it gets put on the back burner, and that's the compound interest that you could be making for them could be thousands of dollars that you're missing out, every year. So like I mentioned, just talking about money. And with my son, we did things a little bit differently, because now starting from zero, right? Starting from scratch, with $100,000 in debt, pivoting careers, and now being able to have some residual income. What we did is, at one of our properties, we have a coined washer and dryer. So everything that we make from that, we give to our son. So he goes and collects the coins. He'll take it, and we used to put it in a jar. Now we put it into his account, but now he gets to decide, okay, how much do you want to keep, how much do you want to, or how much do you want to save, how much do you want for your activities, and then how much are we going to invest. So we have different percentages just depending on what we're doing. Like last month we went to Japan, so it looked a little bit differently. But just getting them to think a little bit differently and give them some of the choices and have them be the ones that participate, I feel like will have a more lasting effect on them realizing what's happening. Because if you do everything for them, they're not going to know how to do it on their own, or it's not going to have as much of an impact, or they may not even realize what's going on. So they don't really grasp what you're trying to teach them. And so just doing little stuff like that, where you're making them a part of this financial journey, will then help them even later on in life, hopefully appreciate it too. Thank you, Angela. all the hearts. Okay. So with that, you know, there's so much to teach and so much to show you. And this is why I created an ebook for my birthday that was this past weekend. And I just really want to help busy parents out there, or maybe soon to be parents, just learn where to start, because that's the most common question that I get is like, okay, Sasha, this all sounds good, but where do I start? So the ebook that we put together breaks everything down step by step. And it's something I wish people had taught me years ago. And we don't know what we don't know, right? And for me growing up, my mom was just living paycheck to paycheck. She didn't know because she didn't have the time. But if you are a parent, or you are, even if you're an aunt, if you're around kids, or even wanting to have kids in the future, these are things that you need to start being aware of, that's available, because it's not on anybody else to teach us. Like, we have to go out and seek that knowledge. So this ebook gives you actionable steps in 90 days to get to your goals. So if you're one of those people that needs a breakdown, then this is the book for you. So it's called How to Raise Rich Kids, the Busy Parents Blueprint. And I really want to help you create generational wealth coming from someone who's been there and done it. And, it's really easy. So if you want to build better, comment the word rich kids below, and I can message it to you as well, or click the link in my bio too. So if this was even a little helpful, please like this live. Mahalo, Angela, for all the hearts. Jane, let's see, Chris, Evie. Let's just start talking more about finances, talking more about how to help each other. And even in this ebook, it could be good for even the everyday person, right? Who is looking for more ways to build wealth. And so for me, I just like to share weekly simple wealth building strategies for families like yours, or if you're trying to grow a family, here on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and I share these tips in different styles on each platform. So however you best receive this information, follow me on all these platforms. And I hope this was helpful. If it was, please like, subscribe, and share this live. Hope you guys have an awesome Aloha Friday, and take a look at your finances this weekend when you have some downtime, and just small steps. Small steps will help you get ahead. Akuiho.